Share it with your friends. Guys, happy morning.
Happy morning, sir.
Guys, Gen Z, you guys should be the most happiest, actually Gen Z students now. Anyway, early in the morning when your class was supposed to start, all of a sudden if it has been interrupted by a personality development class like this, it will definitely be a challenge on me to say that yes, this class is going to be different from whatever you have attended earlier. So the topic that was given to me is handling emotions. See, one of the basic need and one of the basic lessons of life is, am I good in handling emotions? If I can handle emotions, a chaiwala will not remain as a chaiwala. He will turn up to become the greatest prime ministers of the world, and that is our Narendra Modi. And again I am telling you, if you know how to handle emotions, if you know how to handle, right now I am in a forest. I am going to live and die in the forest. I am a tribal woman. I don't know what the outside world is. She could have thought in those sense. Her emotions could have actually dented her to the core, not making her come out of that forest. And today she is the first citizen of India. I am talking about a tribal woman becoming the greatest president, the Draupadi Murmu. How is your emotions working? Your emotions works on comparison. Your confidence also works on comparison. If somebody says you have all that in you that can make you one of the top 10 company entrepreneur, but you are not ready to believe. Why? Because you compare yourself with your surroundings, with your parents, and you yourself emotionally dent and keep yourself in that comfort zone, and you don't want to go outside that comfort zone. Most of you did not make it up to engineering because you thought, when my father is not an engineer, how would you expect I should be an engineer? When my mother is not a doctor, how do you expect I should be a doctor? When any of my uncles are never an entrepreneur, how do you expect that I should become an entrepreneur? Highly impossible question you are asking. Why? Not because of the outside world. Again I am telling you, if anybody is success, it is only because of them. It is not because of anybody else. And what will you tell this fisherman's son, whose father always told him, you become a better or a bigger or a larger fisherman, that would be the most important expectation out of me. And that boy says, no, I am not made to become a fisherman. And he becomes the missile man of India. If today Operation Sindoor is a success, it is because of this Abdul Kalam, who actually handled his emotions. He is not made to be a fisherman and he is not going to die as a fisherman. There are two such scientists, Albert Einstein and Thomas Alva Edison. You people should be so proud that God has gifted you more intelligence than these two guys. Both of them, if you look at their autobiography, none of them had an opportunity to go to school at the age of 4.5, which you were blessed because you are smart enough. The school admitted you. But these two, the school rejected them year after year, year after year, year after year, because they were not able to even pronounce few words. They were not able to speak. Even at the age of 7, both of them were in the same condition, and both the schools told they should be put into a special school where they handle such specially disabled students. But still, they made up very big in life because they knew how to handle emotions. One of the best college, I say, Sheshadri Puram, is because starting early in the morning is considered as best way to progress in life. See, when we talk about this 24 hours of our entire living, the day and night, there is certain period which we call it as most sacred time, most sacred period. What is that? Early in the morning, which we call Brahmi Muhurta. The time when the sun rises and the sun sets, just before the sunrise and after the sunrise, that time is called as Brahmi Muhurta or Brahma Muhurta. That is the time for us to get up and do the most important job of our life. All of you sitting here, what is the most important job of your life? Your academics. Nothing else comes before that. None of your parents have sent you here because you will go to college, you will start earning in the college, come back home and support your family. They have invested all that needs to be invested and they have sent you to the college because their only motive is you will have to do the best in your academics. Again, I am telling you, if anybody has made themselves successful, it is not because of their parents, it is not because of their friends, it is not because of agal bagal wala, it is only because of themselves. There is a beautiful saying, Dushman kahan hai? Can we repeat it? Dushman kahan hai? 2 times. Dushman kahan hai? What's the answer? Dushman bagal mein hai. Again, दुश्मन बगल में है. Let me say to you, दुश्मन बगल में नहीं है, दुश्मन अंदर है. If Modi became what he became, it was not because of his cousin brothers or brothers who are still living a very ordinary life. Abdul Kalam has become what he has become not because of anybody else, because Abdul Kalam's near and dear cousins are still there working as a fisherman. And this Draupadi Murmu's cousin sisters, faraway sisters, are still a tribal women and they are still living in the forest. Again, I am telling you, if you want to be successful, can you create a dost in himself? Dost bhi kahan hai, wo bhi bagal mein nahi hai, wo bhi andar hai. Can you become a dost of yourself? But you tend to become a dushman of yourself, and that dushman will never allow a chaiwala to become a prime minister. Mentally retarded 2 people to become the greatest scientists, Thomas Alva Edison and Einstein. Yes, it is possible. Why? Because they knew how to handle emotions. Now for simple reason, I'll assume, you just assume God is coming here and He's going to ask you, what do you want? Are you ready to ask? No. You are not ready to ask because you are not prepared. Even if God comes and asks, the answer should have come. You should have shouted on the top of your voice. That means you know how to handle your emotions. Why that is not coming? Because you don't believe so. Let me tell you how nature is. Most of the time we feel everything is handled by us. Do you think you can do anything on your own? Can you even wink your eye on your own? No. Everything is happening because of thy will. Everything is happening because of thy will. He is a co-author of your destiny. Anybody who achieves whatever they achieve, it is because he is a co-author. He is walking along with you. First time you develop overconfidence, you forget he is there in you and you say, "Sab kuch main hi kar raha hu." That's also dangerous. Sometimes you develop inferiority complex, you start feeling, I cannot do anything, because your life, Gen Z life of first year, second year, third year, graduation is going to be filled with such inferiority and superiority complex. Right at one moment you will be in the peak of your happiness and immediately next moment you will get into a depression which is you are not able to handle it. Why? Let us learn how to handle emotions. Only if you can handle these emotions, you can hit that bullseye. Can you create a friend in you who can handle these emotions? And again, let me tell you, whatever happens in you, it happens because of thy will. But choice you will have to decide. And the destination, what you are going to reach, it will depend on the choice. Today I am saying Brahmi Muhurta is the most important time of this 24 hours. Can I do the most important work? Because at that moment when you have a very high energy in the surrounding, outside and inside, with little efforts you can achieve maximum things. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಷ್ಟಕರ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸತಿ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬಹುದು, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬಹುದು, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಸಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬಹುದು, ಯು ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಾಲ್ವ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್. ಗೆಟ್ ಅಪ್ early in the morning when it is Brahmi Muhurta, sit after a 5 minutes of meditation and open the same book, you will start feeling that you are able to naturally learn it. Why? Because that is the time when with little efforts you can get maximum benefit. And that maximum benefit has to be used by putting that little effort. This is called a smart living. No? Those who can put pain to yourself consistently from now on, for the next 2-3 years, you will have a permanent pleasure for your lifetime when you actually have the best job awaiting and the best salary of 1.5, 2.5 crore CTC when you get. You will feel permanently happy. Instead, during the Brahmi Muhurta you sleep and you expect after that I will enjoy my life. Definitely not possible. There is a very simple saying, there is no gain without pain. And what is that handling emotion is, can you handle these emotions in a reverse manner? Because why I say reverse manner? God plays a beautiful trick and He releases you as a human into this life. God plays a trick. What is the trick? He gives you different situations in your life. Situation 1, situation 2, situation 3. But in every situation, there is a response that happens. Either you know that you can experience pleasure out of it, and you know you can experience pain out of it. How do we handle emotions? Wherever we think we can experience emotions of pleasure, you want to consistently do that. Why? Because you will crave for what is called as pleasure. When the alarm rings at 4 o'clock to get up at 4 o'clock because this is the right time for you to study, it is a painful experience. You ask yourself, is this pleasure or pain? It is pain, so let me not do it. Let me get up later. I'm not saying I'm not going to get up. You made your choice. And what do? You are not ready to take up that pain. But still in this same hall, there will be 4 or 5 or 6 of you who take that pain and you get up and you see because of the pain what you took consistently over a period of 1 year, your results will start showing on an higher surface. Why? Because you are ready to take up that small pain. God has played this trick. God also tells you whatever is painful now is going to be temporary pain, but that will lead to permanent pleasure. And again, whatever is pleasurable now, that will lead to what is called as permanent pain. And beautiful, how he handles emotions is, whatever you have experienced yesterday, if you experience the same thing today, you will be comfortable. But after few days, you don't experience the same thing. There will be deterioration. That means it falls down. What is that? When you get up with lot of pain early in the morning at 4 o'clock, again and again, again and again, again and again, after 90 days or after 30 days, even after 9 days, slowly the next day when you will have to wake up, you ask yourself, are you feeling that pain? No, you feel like, I'm not feeling that pain. Why you feel that you are not feeling that pain? Anything that was consistently painful will not be painful at all. It slowly dips and it will go to that neutral point. You will say, I'm not feeling that pain because I'm getting up early in the morning. I'm comfortable. Again, the pleasure will work again in the same direction. What gave you pleasure by not waking up at 4 o'clock and waking up only at 6 o'clock? After few weeks, getting up at 6 o'clock, you will not get the same pleasure. What do? Let me sleep for 15 minutes more. That is what is happening with the digital screen. Today I watch something for 10 minutes and you feel the kick has come. But tomorrow if I watch for the same 10 minutes, I don't feel the kick. So what I want to watch for 20 minutes. When consistently you keep on watching it for 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, a point will come and where you will feel 20 minutes is not giving me that kick, that change, that emotional pleasure. Let me watch still more. So slowly, without knowing, the pain, the pleasure what you adopted will actually seek for more and more pleasure. That is where this digital screen is actually creating you as a slave, and he can make you watch him for lifelong. That is what happens. Most of you watch 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. That means 1/3 of your life you are only been watching screen. So can I handle these emotions? That means, can I handle this pleasure and pain? I know today Malik sir has told that yes, initial pleasure will give me permanent pain and initial pain will give me permanent pleasure. Let me, every time a situation comes, ask myself, is this encounter giving me pleasure? Then I will not do it. If this encounter is creating a pain, I shall do it because I know initial pain will give me permanent pleasure. This change if you can bring, you have really handled your emotions properly. And very important, see, when we talk about our 100 years of journey, assuming we'll live for 100 years, we will take up 80 for time being. If I'm going to live for 80, just like in this 24 hours we say, Brahmi Muhurta is this before the sun rises and after the sun rises. In the same manner, there is an age which is the most important peak period of your entire life. That is when you are doing your first year, second year, third year, and first year post graduation and second year post graduation. These 5 years will be considered as Brahmi year of your life. And this 5 years, if you can put your heart and soul, give up on all your pleasures, only start taking pain, consistently, day in, every breath that goes in, it has to say, I am going to take up this breath in because I know I want to voluntarily accept pain and start progressing in life. See, for few months, you will actually progress in academics phenomenally. And this is the most important time of your entire life. Nobody is going to tell you like this. For the first time I am telling you, if you want to have a very successful living after 25 till your death, that depends on how you handle yourself in this age, that is 20, 21, 18, 19, 20, 21. Very important. If you can frame yourself in these Brahmi years of your life properly, then your life will go somewhere. So as we are talking about handling emotion, let us try and understand how do we handle emotions, how do we handle uncontrolled emotions. We will look at both the aspects. Whenever we talk about emotions, all of us experience these basic emotional movements. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad, sometimes we are very loving and caring, sometimes we hate the same person, and sometimes we are anger, sometimes we are having fear. These are the different emotions that we come across. But let us try to handle, how do we handle all these emotions? As a college student, as a graduation doing student, what should be my focus in the way I handle my emotions? Our entire objective is this. Now, in order to understand this, let us go for the basic understanding. How do we express our emotions? How do we actually express our emotions? Different people express emotions differently. Okay, so when I am asking how do people express their emotions, how do children express their emotions, how do teens express their emotion, how do adults express their emotion, let us learn how to control and express our emotions. Now my emotion is in turbulence. Somebody appreciates me, my emotion is in turbulence. Somebody actually criticizes me, again my emotions is in turbulence. Turbulence means it is not normal. Either it is going high or coming down, or it is spiking in both the way. Now, how to come back to that neutral point and then execute, that is the whole objective of today's session. In your day-to-day life, when you encounter a lot of people, how do you handle your emotions? Now, do you express your emotions differently around different people? Definitely yes. If you have a subordinate and if you are angry, you don't mind throwing the entire anger onto you. But when you go to the senior official and when he is angry, you will only be a receiver there. Ask yourself at what point of time you are a giver and what point of time you are a receiver. If you are playing both the roles, then you are not a man of personality, strong, uniform personality. Who is the man of uniform personality? When he knows the problem is coming from the top or the bottom, he will not put it across on the top, he will never put it across on the bottom, he will never put it across against the piece. That means you know how to handle emotions. A beautiful story for you to understand. If you want to actually energetically complete this 4-5 years of your phase, which we call Brahmi years of your life, you should be that angel husband. What you should be? Angel husband. Can you repeat? Angel husband. Okay. There are 3 kinds of husbands. Good husband, very good husband, angel husband. Can you repeat? Your right hand forward. Good husband. Everybody right hand forward. Good husband, very good husband, angel husband. Husbands are hesitating. Okay. Now, do you express your emotions differently around different people? Your family, your friends, your work and school. Let me explain you. Who is a good husband? Why I am using an husband and wife concept? It could be anywhere. Between 2 friends, between the teacher and the student, between 2 lecturers, it could be between the principal and the student. I am just taking husband and wife. What is my intention? Can you always be that angel husband? Who is a good husband? A good husband is the one, when he knows it is his mistake, he immediately knows how to handle his emotion. He simply goes there and says, I am very sorry, this is my mistake. I did a mistake. I go to my friend and say, I am very sorry, this is my mistake. As a lecturer, I had a difference of opinion with another lecturer. I immediately go to that lecturer and say, I am sorry, it is my mistake. This is called as good husband. Who is a very good husband? When a person does not know whether it is his problem, it is his mistake, or it is a problem of the other person, or it is his mistake. I have a confusion. I really don't have clarity. But still, what have you got to lose? Because your life of that Brahmi years is most important. By fighting with somebody and actually having an emotional turbulence, I don't want to disturb my academic career. I don't mind going up to her or him and saying, I'm sorry, maybe it would be my mistake only. Please excuse me. He is called as a very good husband. And who is an angel husband? It could be my principal, it could be my HOD, it could be anybody. I know it was their mistake only. It could be my lecturer. It is lecturer's mistake only. But what have I got to lose? I am preparing not for this 5 years. This 5 year will not make any difference in my life. What is going to make the difference is how I use this 5 years will make a big difference for the next 40, 60 years I am going to live. Who is that angel husband? He goes and when he definitely knows it is a mistake of my senior, it is a mistake of my lecturer, it is a mistake of my friend, it is a mistake of my wife, still you go there and say, I am sorry, maybe it is my mistake, please forgive me. How easily you can diffuse of the entire emotion and you will be happy, you will not be wasting even a minute. Most of your time is wasted in handling negative emotions. When you do this, you are in peace. That guy will have to think for weeks together. It was my mistake. How did he come and say sorry to me? He will be disturbed for the whole evening, but you will not because you know how to handle emotions. There are people who throw tantrums onto you. They may leave Brahmastra, they may leave Arunastra, they may use Garudastra. Whatever they use, can you neutralize and be there saying, these emotional arrows will not disturb me. I will not fall for any of those arrows because I have a control on my emotions. See, I can take charge of your emotions. I can make you play around. It is easy. If I want somebody to fight, I can start. Amma, Appa, Akka. And what do you think? He will keep quiet. He will say, your Abba's Amma, Akka's Akka. It's common. So, do you think he handled me? No, I handled him. I was having the key so that I always use that key and start making you an emotional slave. All of us are becoming that emotional slave. This is what was directly told to the great Aristotle's student, Alexander the Great. It was one such evening when Alexander had conquered most part of the world. It was his last few days which started in India only. Their entire army men who had actually left their family and they were always traveling for years together, everybody was shattered and they were in huge pain. They had conquered half of the world, more than half of the world, but still there was no happiness in them. That happiness was actually deprived. One such day when they were crossing from one city to another city, there was one sadhu who was completely naked with little clothes closing himself, and he was actually dancing in the rain so happy. It created such a inferiority complex to every one of them. They started feeling we are such strong men, we have conquered the world, but where is happiness? Look at him, he has conquered happiness, he is consistently smiling. What am I doing here? Immediately, even Alexander also saw him and it came to his notice and he was also surprised how happy he is. Without clothes, it's raining, it's chilling, but still he is enjoying as though it is the most happiest moment of his life. And then when he comes back to the tent, while he was resting the tent, that vision of that man being very happy, it creates a jealousiness in him. I have conquered half of the world, why I don't have the same happiness? He calls one of his major and he says, go and get the person who was laughing and dancing in the rain. That guy goes. He says, Alexander the Great wants to meet you. Then he says, which Alexander the Great? I don't know anybody great. I think I am the great. And he starts dancing. He says, if you are not going to come, he is going to come and he is going to be it. I am okay to die. I have nothing to lose. I am the most happiest person. I am happy to die. Happily I will die. Ask him to come. This man comes back again and he calls him and he says, Alexander, he was not ready to come. Did you tell him who Alexander was? I told him, Alexander, the man who conquered the entire world. But still he disagreed. Yes, did you not threaten him? I threatened him with beheading, but he told, I'm happy to. And he just put his head down and he told, do it right now, I'm happily going to die. Can I keep that happiness as constant? See, in your life, you encounter a lot of situations, but can I still keep my happiness as constant? That is the ultimate virtue of your life. What do you think is the ultimate goal of your life? BMW, 2 BMW, okay, means working in an MNC company, having a best house which is worth crores of rupees, a villa which is unimaginable to think. If you think all this is your dreams, but along with that, when all these are given, do you think you will actually be happy about that dream? No. What is your ultimate goal of life? What is your ultimate aim of life? All of us know, all of our ultimate aim or goal of life is happiness. Can I be happy? Everything that you are doing is in search of that happiness. You are going to the best of the college because you know that college will train you with the best of the education, that will get you the best of the jobs, and that job can get you happiness. So you are doing all this. So everywhere, whatever we are doing for the purpose of happiness. Our ultimate goal of life is, I want to settle down. Why do you want to settle down? I don't want to work, I want to happily live ever after. So all of us are hunting this happiness, and that is how our life is going on. And when Alexander becomes very angry, he comes back and he comes there and he says, wow, how come you tell Alexander the Great something like this? You call yourself Alexander the Great? No. Do you know I am controlling you? You are not controlling me. I made you walk and come all the way from the tent because you could not handle anger. Do you think you are the master of this world? I claim and say you are the slave of this world because you are not able to actually conquer your anger. If you can conquer that anger, then I would consider you as a master. That is how the story goes. Let us stop here there. Because after that, you know, Alexander, he became sick and he died. Alexander wanted to tell the world, conquering the entire world cannot give you what is called as emotional happiness. So he made it very clear and he told, when there is going to be a last march towards the crematorium, I want you to create a coffin with a hole in both of the sides. Keep my hands stretched. Let my hands be stretched and let my fingers be open, and let there be all the gold that I have actually captured to be laid on the road, and let the entire world know the man who captured 3/4 of the world is going empty-handed with a unhappiness in his face, not even carrying that luxury of I was happy at least for few days. That is not the life what we want. And why is that we are not able to create that happiness? The entire purpose of today's session is the same. When any situation comes, are you going to react or are you going to respond? When somebody abuses you, you immediately abuse him more. That is called as reaction. Yes. When Pelwan attacks, when this attack happened from the terrorist, they wanted us to react. But the leader who is actually patiently watching that, he told, by reacting we may not be able to do what we are supposed to do. They waited for 10, 11, 12 days for the right time to come, and then Operation Sindoor was launched. Let me tell you how perfect the Operation Sindoor was. The accuracy of data analysis and artificial intelligence today was to that an accuracy that nowhere the target was missed even by 1 or 2 centimeters. I am not talking about meters, centimeters. That was the accuracy of data that they had, and that is how they launched every missile. And there was one such message they had to give, telling that we know every nuclear point or storage facility of yours. We have just hit at the border of the nuclear facility. If we would have moved 100 meters left, the nuclear facility of your storage would have exploded and this map wouldn't have existed in the world. That was the accuracy. But they would have done that by reacting. It would have not done any good to anybody. they responded. They knew how to actually respond. Are you a person of reactor or are you a person of responder? Responder brings his emotions down, settles it down, and then he starts reacting. Most of you, even when a lecturer says assignment has to be written 3 times, or if he says 5 times, the immediate expression that comes to you is you react. Anger. Well, what is the purpose of asking you to write that assignment? Because they know there is an exam that is going to come. If you can put all your efforts working and writing, that will help you in the exam. The entire objective is that. Ask yourself, in every moment of my life, one is, am I experiencing pleasure or pain? Or in every moment of the life, when I will have to respond, when I will have to react, am I reacting? Am I responding? What should you use, all of you? Respond. You should always think of responding. So today's entire session is, can you respond and be the chaiwala who becomes a prime minister? Can you respond and become that fisherman's son who became a missile man of India, Abdul Kalam, the greatest scientist? Or can you that responder when the world started telling you two people are actually under your special child, your mind is not actually comfortable enough, you are a slow learner. For both Einstein and also for Thomas Alva Edison, they did not process it, they went to responding and they were able to respond back to the world. The loudest way to tell the world shut up is show results. Both of them knew the loudest way a chaiwala can say shut up is going and reaching that point and telling, look where am I. The loudest way a fisherman could tell the world that even fishermen can do miracles is by telling, look where I stand now. The loudest way this tribal woman could tell the world shut up. Why? You need to respond. Slow process may hota hai, but still it is going to be result oriented. And that is the objective of today's session. How are you going to handle this? See, when we explain about our emotional handling, our emotions have become like a transaction. All of us are handling emotions like a transaction. Whenever we want to be friendly with anybody, when I want to make new friends, when I want to actually have friends, we will always look at what is the benefit I will get out of you. So when I want to make you understand, let us make you understand with this beautiful story how a relationship between a mother and son would happen. The story goes something like this. A mother was an IT professional. When she gave birth to a baby boy, right at that moment, something untoward happens. Her husband, who is also an IT professional, he meets with an accident and he dies. Mother wanted to take care of his son like nobody else. She became a father and she became a mother to her child by working simultaneously, taking care of her elderly mother, and for the next 10 to 15 years, she gave up everything, only work and son. That is how she brought her son up. So son was very good. He was always topper in the school, always topper in the college. It so happened when mother for the first time got an opportunity to go for outside the city to work, she never took such opportunities because she knew her son would actually miss her mother. I don't want him to miss mother as itself is missing his father. So keeping that as an objective, she never took any projects outside. For the first time when the son was already 12, she felt he's 18 plus, he can handle himself, and one day she calls him and he says, can you take care of the house for the next 20 days because I have a project in Delhi, I'll have to move from Bangalore to Delhi. Son agrees, okay mama, there's nothing wrong. Just to make him understand, because she was an IT professional, there was a to-do list she created. What is the to-do list? She told, as you are all alone, let me give you what kind of work you will have at home which you should compulsorily do. The first work was giving tablets to grandmother morning, afternoon, evening, and everything else like taking care of the clothes. Anyway, housekeeping lady will come, monitoring her, watering the plant in the garden. Garden means a small, outside there was a small space where there were a lot of pots and water kept. Plants kept. So you should regularly water. See to it that the housekeeping lady keeps everything neat and clean. You should monitor all this work. And taking care of the clothes, putting it into the wash bin and seeing to it that the washing machine takes care of cleaning it and then drying it, getting it ironed from the iron shop very close by. These are the basic things. She gave him around 15 to-do list. So son was matured. He told, Mama, I can manage all this. Please go ahead. So my mama goes and she's working, she's monitoring him over the phone, over the video conferencing, and son has done a beautiful job. After 20 days, mother returns back home. It was late in the night. But as the mother returns, she wanted to go and say hi to his son. So she comes to his son, she kisses him, but she never wanted to disturb him. He was in a deep sleep. She goes up to the first floor where her mother is. She talks to her mother, and the grandma gives a beautiful opinion about the grandson. I've never seen a good grandson like him anywhere. And mother is happy, grandmother is happy. Now she wanted to go to bed. She just takes a bath and then she's about to lie down. She could feel there was something under the pillow where she was supposed to sleep. She picks it up and she knew it was written in the son's handwriting, "Mom, to you." Then she opens it, and as she opens it, she finds there is an invoice kind of a letter. "Mama, for taking care of the entire house for 20 days, here is my invoice." For the to-do list, he made an invoice. What is that invoice? Mama taking care of the garden for 2 days, so many rupees. Taking care of grandma for so many days, so many rupees. And taking care of that, this. He made a big list, and finally he ended up making a money of 925. And you told Mama 925 needs to be paid by you. He could have just asked, but he was doing an emotional transaction there. After that, she could not handle herself. She was completely with tears. Next day, the van comes. Without even telling hi to his son, who just got up, she immediately wanted to rush to the office. So what she does, very early she gets up, she puts a small letter and that 925 rupees in a cover, and she goes to his son's room, puts it under the pillow, and then she goes away to the office. She's completely in tears because she could not handle her. She was so happy with her colleagues, always talking about her son, always talking about her son. And the same lady, when somebody asked about the son, she started crying. And when people asked why, because most of you have shown so many tantrums against your mother, coffee sometimes will be cold, sometimes it will be hot. Have it as it is. Will that make a difference? Will that differentiate whether a chaiwala will become a prime minister or not? Then why do you give importance to that? One day, if you breakfast is not done also, please don't take it seriously. It's okay. Mama, today breakfast is late. It's okay, Mama. I'll come back and I'll have my breakfast. So you get into a strike. I will not have breakfast for next 1 week. Yes, that will definitely become an hurdle for this chaiwala to become the prime minister. So ask yourself, how are you handling these emotions? She had written a letter, and as soon as the son got up, he could feel something was under the pillow. He was curious enough to go and meet the mom, but once he sees the envelope, he was very sure mom would have given me that 925 rupees. Mom had given him 925 rupees plus 1000 rupees, totally 1925 rupees. But he could feel that the entire paper was a little drenched because there were eye drops. There were tears there, and it had wetted the entire letter. And the letter read like this: "My dear son, for the first time I felt what has happened to my son. Did I not give him a well bringing up? My dear son, I love you and I will always keep loving you. Even if you would have asked me, Mama, I need a pocket money of 2000, I would have given you 3000. But the letter what you have sent, that is too hurting. But let me tell you, my son, I have not given you invoice for whatever I have done till now. Let me give you an invoice." People, students, daughters, son, take this seriously. If your parents give you an invoice, just like your college gives you an invoice, you cannot handle it. What is that you are going to give in reverse? Because we are handling emotions. When you can strongly handle this, your life will automatically come in the right path and you will hit that bullseye. She writes a letter: "My dear son, carrying you in my womb for 9 months free of cost. My dear son, going through the pain, sleepless nights for those 9 months when you wanted to eat, when you never wanted to eat, free of cost. Breastfeeding you for 15 months, free of cost. Upbringing up from the childhood till today, free of cost. Schooling, best of the school, best of the clothing, best of the comfort. It has always been poured onto you even before you could ask. All that I have given you free of cost. Ensuring you to be healthy and disease free, free of cost. fulfilling all your needs from childhood till now, free of cost. My dear son, I am ready to work till my last breath to keep you happy, and all this shall be free of cost. Son could not handle himself. He goes up to his grandmother, he hugs grandmother and he starts crying and he says, Mama, Grandma, I've done such a stupid thing in my life. I should go and cut a sorry to my mom. And let us end our story. All of us are in this. We are treating our relationship as an emotional transaction, like giving and taking. How much will you give? How much I will take? Everything has become a transaction in our life. Every relationship can be understood like a transaction. Today, if at all you want to make up to that top bracket of the students whose photograph is printed on the notice board telling there were students who have already got 10% in most of the subjects. There is a saying, where there is a will, there is a way. Can you repeat? Where there is a will, there is a way. Let me rephrase it. There is always a way. Do you have the will? There is always a way. The same college, as I was seeing a little bit of the prospectus of the previous years, there are such photos that are displayed where students have scored 99, 98, 100 also in all the subjects. That means one single student wouldn't have achieved, but there are a lot of students who have received 100% in most of the subjects. That means there is always a way. With the same chairs, with the same lecturers, with the same library, with the same principal, with the same librarian, still they have achieved what they want to achieve. I am again telling you, where there is a will, there is always a way. Definitely agree, but let me tell you, there is always a way. Do you have the will? A chaiwala also can become a prime minister. Do you have that will? A tribal woman can become a president. Do you have that will? A school thrown off two students, Albert Einstein and Thomas Alva Edison, they could become the greatest scientists with 1,500 plus inventions under their cap because they had a will, not because there was a way. Way is always there. Do you have the will? Again, I am telling you, if you guys do not make it up to the top bracket of success, it is not because of somebody else. The success or failure only depends on you. It only depends on you. If you are successful, you alone are responsible. If you are a failure, you alone are responsible. Are you ready to take the charge and say, from today, the way I am going to handle emotions, I am going to take up the right decision so that I hit the bullseye. That should be the objective. See, when we look at our entire life, we have looked at our life as a transaction. Let me take up one simple example. A transaction, like it is a joint account. See, when you get into any kind of a relation, let me take partnership only. When I say as a BCom, BBA, BCA, any kind of a student, we are going to start one firm. It could be any kind of a firm, sales, service, okay, IT based. There are two partners. How do you expect the partners to behave? Both of them should do equal deposits. Both of them should do equal withdrawals. Then we say this joint account is good. If there is one person who is consistently depositing, and there is another person who is consistently withdrawing, the bank manager will say, what kind of account is this? Partner 1 is always working, always depositing, always knowing how to handle emotion. Partner 2 is simply sleeping. That is not the kind of relationship you get into. You want a partner who can always do equally as strong as you. Now ask you, in relationship with your parents, in relationship with your lecturers, are you doing the same thing? Let me take up the parents' deposit and the child's deposit. Parents, right, even before your birth, your parents were preparing for that environment so that when my daughter comes to this world, let her be in the more comfort zone than what we were. They may pick up a bigger space, they may pick up a special room for you, they may pick up a special cradle for you, they may select the best hospital for you, not because they care about their health, they care about your health, and they are being consistently putting the deposits. What kind of deposit? They put you to the best school, best college, they regularly gave you pocket money, they gave you branded clothes, they gave you all kinds of cosmetics, not even thinking what is the cost of it. Every accessory, top to bottom, everything branded, the best one they gave you, mobile phone, electronic gadget, sports kit. Are you using or misusing it? It's a question that you will have to ask. They gave you out of love so that it creates comfort for you in the college. The choice of food, eat out, movies, cycle, bike. You think of everything. Parents are consistently depositing. Again, in the college also, lecturers are consistently depositing. Every class they come, their objective is by teaching them this lesson in this class, can they make it in the higher bracket of their academic performance? By giving extra class, can they really perform well? By giving more assignments, can I prepare them for a better? So every deposit a lecturer or a librarian or a principal, anybody who is doing, they are only doing with this objective, depositing enough into your bank account so that you flourish. They are not expecting anything in return. They are getting their salary, but they are not expecting anything in return. But at least for them, can you give some intangible returns at least? Even for your parents? I know as a kid, you cannot push them into the best college and school. You will definitely tell that. You cannot do any of this. But at least, can you handle this intangible emotions? Can you handle the love, care, protection, help, security, luxury and comfort which you can consistently pour onto them? If you can do that, then definitely you are actually doing intangible deposits. This is one thing that you guys will have to work on. So, with your parents or with your lecturers, can you express some love? Can you express some thank you? Ma'am, thank you for this extra class, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you for giving us the assignment. We definitely understand this assignment can take us from the position where we are to a better place. Thank you for your help. Thank you for everything, even for your parents. Have you ever gone and hugged your mom or dad and told, Mama, Papa, thank you so much? We have never done. Can you change the way you handle emotions from now? Let us not consistently keep on only depositing, means withdrawing. Let us deposit. I may not be able to do tangible deposit with your college, with your principals, with your lecturers, with your parents, with your what you call siblings, means your brothers and sisters, siblings also. But I can show love, I can show care, I can show protection, I can show help, I can show lot of things which is intangible. That is also equally valid. Love is also much more valuable than everything else. So this is a basic understanding of how we will have to handle any kind of relationship. One of the biggest negative hurdle or negative emotions that we have to handle is anger. Anger is the most important, what we call emotions. If I know how to handle emotions, I can be a winner of this world. Let us understand what actually causes anger. We will just look into it. Anger is just what exactly happens because of anger. When I say anger, anger is one letter D less than danger. If I add up D here, anger leads to what is called as danger. What kind of danger it can create? If I am telling, there are a lot of tangible losses that would have happened because a person was not able to handle his emotions properly. Let me take a lot of examples. Relationships are lost. Two friends who are very close, just because a small difference of opinion and emotional mishandling, they become big enemies. They will stop talking to each other. They don't want to have coordination at all. All that happens, many lives are lost, relationships are broken because of this simple anger you are not able to manage. And materialistic losses happen, properties are lost, parents lose their children, children lose their parents, and parents means even an husband loses his wife, a wife loses wife because of anger. Today the world is living in love at first sight, the divorce at first fight. So that is what is happening. Can we go beyond that? So child is separated, husband and wife are separated, siblings don't talk to each other. We talk about Dhirubhai Ambani, a proud man who from zero brought up his empire, and he was able to for the first time start 15,000 crore turnover company. I'm talking about Dhirubhai. But the same Dhirubhai was not able to make his kids handle emotions properly. Only 3 kids, one of them committed suicide and the other one, those two are fighting for each other, and it is a big negativity. Why? They are not able to handle emotions. Sometimes success hits one of them and failure hits one of them. But if both of them can be treated equally, it can really make a lot of difference, intangible. So the entire world has experienced big disasters because the anger was not managed. All of you should know Hitler's anger. It was Hitler's very strong anger killed Jews in less than 4 years, not 1 or 2. 6 million Jews were killed by this man called as Hitler because he was angry against the Jews because they did certain crime. I'm not saying crime. They did a small crime. He did the biggest crime by eradicating 6 million Jews out of this world. Osama's anger, this so-called terrorist Osama, when the Twin Towers were hit, you should know many businesses collapsed and many assets and intangible assets were lost. And that was the biggest disaster that happened because of Osama's anger. In the same manner, Sri Lanka was considered to be the most beautiful city, most rich city, filled with gold, and their entire palace was constructed with gold. And the greenery and the Ayurveda there was to the peak because Ravan was one of the greatest worshipper of Shiva, and Shiva the destructor had created so much of bliss there. Lanka was one of the beautiful country we could have called. Just because of one man's anger which transformed to another, blunder happened. Surpanaki is little ugly, I know. She comes in disguise and she stands in front of Ram. Ram being Ram, he knows who she is. He identifies it as Surpanaka and he asks, what do you want, my sister? Because for him, Sita is the only one, she is the ultimate. She says, I want to marry you. He very clearly, he is a good communicator. What does he say? I am not interested because I only have one wife in my life and nobody else I have a space for that. Please excuse me. He should say, and you should ask him to move. What mistake he does? He sends him to so-called Lakshmana. Lakshmana's anger management is not right. That is where everything started. When she goes up to Lakshmana and she keeps on pestering, Lakshmana gets angry, he removes the sword and he starts fighting with her. In that fight, you know what happens to Surpanaka. Her nose is cut and she starts looking very ugly. There is an anger there. Anger is a simple expression of situation going out of control. There is a situation that has gone out of control, that creates anger. I want to marry you, she is not ready, situation is going out of control, acid attack, abusing, XYZ. Why? Just because the situation has gone out of control. You are consistently angry now if you are not well prepared for the exam because you know the days have passed and we still have only few days left out for the exam. The situation has already gone out of control. You don't know how to handle it. It is creating a stress that is nothing but an anger. A frustration that is in the form of anger. I should have studied well. If I would have done, it would have helped. Lakshman will not stop there. He smears that anger onto Surpanaka and Surpanaka goes and tells the same thing to Ravan. She creates an anger in him, and you know when Ravan became anger, the entire Sri Lanka and many of those called monkeys, they were destroyed just because of one man's anger. And there is one more anger also. Ram being Ram, because of one man who felt bad about his wife going to means going to her sasural again and again. He, in that flow of words, he told, next time if you go, I will not let you. He had warned her. But again she went and she came. He made a simple statement. What was that statement? I am not that Ram who allows anybody who goes out and comes. I have told you last time only, if you go out and if you are going to come, I will not allow you inside. Somebody listens and they say, unnecessary. One man's Dhobi's anger because his wife was going again and again to Maike. He had warned her, if you come back again, I will not allow you. After that warning also, when she had gone and when she came back, he executed whatever the condition he told. And that was reported to Ram. And what happened? Dhobi's anger sent Sita to forest. Two beautiful kids, Lava and Kush. They had to be born and brought up in the forest. So one man's anger can create so much of the disaster, something which you will have to be very, very. See, sometimes anger will cause so much of destruction, it will create an unrecoverable damage to your life. It will create so much of unrecoverable damage. Anger is just a few minutes emotion, but if you are not able to handle that emotion, you will create a blunder and you will actually repent for your lifetime. Let me share a beautiful story of a father and son. Guys, if you want, I can stop right now because 1 hour is over. If you feel like whatever I am talking is definitely talking to your subconscious state, and if it is making some changes, I would like to continue. Otherwise, you can give me a big round of applause. I'll be happily just leaving. It's an humble request. If you have 15-20 minutes more, I would be happy. What is the time now? 9:15. Do you have, or shall I wind it up now? Are you getting what I am telling? Is it interesting?
Yes, sir.
Really interesting?
Yes, sir.
Can I continue for the next 15 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Sir, teachers, can I continue? Okay. Now, this story is yours. Most of you create this blunder. Most of you create this blunder because you don't know how to handle emotion. Let me tell you this story. A father was such a man of manners. He had never given anger to his control. Means he was never a slave of an anger. He was a man of discipline, and he was gifted for the first time with a baby boy. He was so happy because of the baby boy. He had only two dreams in his life. He wanted a boy as his son, and he wanted a Mercedes car for himself. These were the two dreams of his life. Even before his son was born, a room was created for him, and a space was created in his bedroom only, so that his son could play. That was the kind of comfort he wanted to give his son. In the same manner, he wanted to buy a Mercedes, maybe 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. He had created a garage for the Mercedes, and he was expecting a day will come. Because when I told you, there is always a way, do you have the will? He decided, there is going to come Mercedes, let me create a garage and car automatically comes. When his son was born, he was the most happiest father. He loved his son, he took care of him so much. By the age of 2-3 years, when the son needed to move out, he allowed his son to go to the place where he had reserved it for this garage, and he allowed him to play there. So 4 years, 5 years, 5.5 years, the son considered that room where his father wanted to buy a Mercedes and park it there, that was his toy room. All the toys were kept there. So he was consistently playing there. He considered that as his room. He's eating, he's playing, everything happened in that room. One day, when the dad thought that his dream is going to be realized, he ordered for a Mercedes-Benz car, and the Mercedes-Benz car came. When the car came, he parked it inside the garage, and he was very happy because his only two dreams has already been fulfilled. One, his son, one more is his Mercedes. That day what happened, when the mom was busy preparing something breakfast at home early in the morning, father was deep asleep. So son comes here and he sees there is an obstacle there, a car is there. He felt very uncomfortable. This was my playroom. And he starts thinking, what shall I do? Then he picks up a ball. It's not a small ball, it's a cork ball. He's used to catching it. What does he do? He throws it and he catches it. He throws it, he catches it. The throw was not that fast, and the speed at which he threw, the energy level was so high, it drops onto the car and it falls back onto him. He likes that sound. Okay, it falls on the Mercedes-Benz car, it comes. He again throws, it falls on the Mercedes-Benz car, it comes. He's so happy, he's consistently doing. There were a lot of dents that were created. Somehow the sixth sense of father made him think somebody is meddling with the car. He comes and he sees his son has created so many holes on the new Mercedes-Benz car. Sometimes when he misses the throw, it hits the, what you call the door, there is a dent there. Looking all this dent, his anger, he was not able to handle. When his anger goes beyond his control, with that frustration, he takes the ball and he hits hard, and his son was standing there. When he hits hard, it goes, hits him, and it hits his thumb, and his thumb gets punctured. He was not knowing until his mother walks in and he says, what have you done? Your son is bleeding. And that is when he realizes he had actually hurt his son's finger so bad that he could not help. They take him to an hospital, and he was admitted in the hospital for 15 days. And the doctor says there is no way we can always rebuild this. We will have to amputate, and the thumb was gone. Son has forgotten. We as kids, we forget. We don't carry that anger. And father, he could not carry that frustration. What have I done? I could have bought one more car. I could have got the dent removed. Why did I do this? He did not touch the car also, but somehow his mother had called the mechanic who is known to them, got the car repaired. On that day, when his father was coming in an ambulance to take his son back home, the ambulance is coming like this, the car is coming like this, ambulance is standing, the car enters. The son looks at the car and say, Papa, it has become a new car, there are no dents. Ah son, it has become a new car. Papa, even my thumb will grow, na? He asks. And father knows the thumb will not grow. Your 1 minute of anger, that minute of anger, if you are able to control, you would have actually brought down the disaster to zero. So, destructions caused due to anger is too much. Buddha says, do not punish a person who is angry, because by expressing anger, he is already taking a burnt charcoal and he's throwing, he's already feeling that anger. How will you handle such anger? Exactly what is anger? Anger is nothing but a control drama. What is that control drama? When you know the situation is going out of control, you become angry. Assuming you are going in the same Mercedes, if an auto wala comes and bangs you, because for me red was red, I stopped. For an auto wala, red is not red. For him, red is green. So he wanted to take, I stop, he comes and bangs me. The police is standing right next to me and the policeman knows it is a complete mistake of the auto wala. Do you think how the auto wala will react? He will come and he will start abusing words because he becomes angry because the situation has gone out of control. He cannot pay for the Mercedes servicing. He has to earn for 3 years to pay for that Mercedes servicing. When the situation has gone out of control, we get into this frustration called as anger, an emotion which is very difficult to handle. At that moment, we should know how to capture this anger, how to bring down this anger. We will see. That is one beautiful example, and most of the time it happens. Let me take up one more story. Why we say stories is, you may forget the points, you will remember the story. So next time when you get angry, you will tell this, Elizabeth, relax. All of you say, Elizabeth, relax. The story goes like this. Elizabeth who is Elizabeth? We will not say. There was a little girl who looked like Elizabeth. That little girl and the mother, before going to so-called supermarket, the mother takes her baby to the kitchen rack and she shows, my little angel, see, chocolates are there, biscuits are there, peppermints are there, everything is there. Don't make a fuss there, I want all this, it is already there. Yes mama, it is there, I will not make any fuss. Promise? Then only I will take you to the mall. She says yes, and she goes. But mother knows, daughters are always like that. So every shopping is done. Now daughter and the mother, they are entering what is called as a zero tolerance zone. What is that? Billing zone. The billing zone, if you carry kids, chocolates will be so near, it will tempt them. Why? They cannot handle emotions. The very reason window shopping may all that are kept as though you can feel it, because they should get tempted to take it. She comes there and says, Mama, I need chocolate. And she very clearly says, what did I tell you? You should not ask for chocolates. At home, I showed you all the boxes. You come home, I'll give you. No, Mama, I want chocolates. Then she puts her hand like this and says, Elizabeth, calm down. She's looking at her. And she says, no mama, I want, and she jumps down and she starts crying, putting her legs and hands up, and she starts crying, no mama, I want chocolate, I want chocolate. Then she's standing there and says, Elizabeth, calm down, Elizabeth, calm down. She's saying, now one of the elderly person will say, excuse me, you're a mother? Yes, yes. You should not tell her to calm down like that. It's not that way. Then he says, Elizabeth is not she, Elizabeth is me. Because if I get anger, I'll hit her left and right. I was asking Elizabeth, me, please calm down. Sometimes can you be that Elizabeth who can calm down? Instead of showing anger and frustration, can you calm down? So again I'm telling you, anger is nothing but a control drama. It is a sway of emotions. You don't know how to handle that emotions. Let me tell you how bad we are in handling emotions. Nothing of ours would have changed. But the same happiness will change into anger. See, we are so used to changing ourselves into anger for no reason of it. Very beautiful example would be Three Idiots. All of you have seen Three Idiots? We will go to the result scene. What is that result scene? Two of the friends, excluding the third one, Amir Khan, they come, they want to see the result. What they do? They see the result from the bottom because they know their performance is here only. They find both the names are there. They feel happy. Natural emotion, happiness is natural emotions. Now, a natural emotions of sorrow is also felt because his friend is not there. Understood? Happiness and sorrow. With that sorrow, they are just walking with a frozen face. Everybody is saying, why are you like this? You people should be very happy. And he says, what stupid you are talking? How can we be happy? My friend, his name is not there. Who told? He's in the top. Situation is the same. Now you take this and when you put the same name here, does you pass or fail will affect? No. The same happiness becomes anger there. Again, it is a control drama because the situation has gone out of control. They don't know how to handle this because they were past. They are happy about that past, but this friend should have just passed. Situation is the same, but you become anger. Ask yourself, can you come out of this control drama? The best way to come out of this control drama is, can I handle the emotions in a neat and better way? So it is very, very important that we handle that emotion. If you are not able to handle that emotion, it will create lot of disturbance and you will lose your loved ones for your lifetime. With one story we will wind up and then we will go to the solution. See, when you are angry, how do you handle it? You will have to keep small things small. In your day-to-day life, even at home, when the shoes are not in the right place, chappals are not in the right place, you start getting angry. So can you keep small things small? Do not actually take it seriously. Slowly what happens, you will be able to handle anger in a much better way. Then one more, if you are still angry, how do you handle it? Can you actually abstain from action? What we say is, in the deep emotion of happiness, don't take any call. In the deep emotions of sorrow, don't take any call, because in the spike of high positive emotion, in the spike of low positive emotion, intelligence will not work. So, if you can abstain from action and start, if you still want to focus, in yoga we say, when your emotions are too happy or when your emotions are too sorrow, sit in meditative posture and count from 25 to 1 in the reverse order, slowly. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Your mother, your father, right now at home, they would be only thinking that my son and my daughter will be seriously studying something very useful, and they would be working towards bringing your home in the same natural condition as you left, with lot of cleanliness. So please respect your parents and let us continue. And how do we actually handle emotions? With one story I'll just say, can we actually handle emotions? No. But we can restrain from becoming angry by self-pepping ourselves, by counting 25 to 10, by getting into deep breathing. And when you are with a confusion or any kind of an argument, avoid that place, go outside that place, so that that anger will not get smeared in that emotion. Out of place, out of mind, anger also gets automatically managed. That would be one. But the only way for you to manage your anger is abstain from doing any action, because every action that you perform will create a scar in them. With one beautiful story, in 5 minutes we will wind up this class. Why do I say the scars remain? Let me tell you one beautiful story. There was a father who was an IT professional. There was a father who was an IT professional. He brought up his son, and there is always a generation gap conversation that keeps on going. We as parents, like your lecturers also, we feel we were the best kids. And our parents feel they were the best kids, and their parents feel they were the best kids. Why? Because there is a generation gap. There was my son, assuming there is my only son. who is always naughty, and it was very difficult for me to manage him. One day I call my grandpa and say, see, your grandson is so naughty, we were so obedient and he is not able to handle his anger. Can you please do certain thing? Because I knew my papa is also a PD trainer, he can manage it. What my dad told you, so send him for the summer, I will take care of him. So as usual, in the last summer, my son, who is around 7 years old, he goes to his grandpa's house. Before he enters the grandpa's house, grandpa says, let us play a game. Even before entering, stop, let us play a game. He says, what is the game? For 20 days, the only complaint your father is having against you is, you express anger in every situation. Coffee little hot, you will express anger. Coffee not being so hot, you express anger. Lunch given a little early, you express anger. Choice of lunch, you express anger. This is creating lot of hurt in others. So I don't want you to follow this. Year afterwards, there is a game. For 15 days, if you don't get angry, I have got you a game. And I am going to give you that tool game. What is the best game we give it to kids? Huh? No, not that. The computer game. PS2. Okay. That is readily available. It shows the box also. But for 15 days, if you don't get angry, I am going to give you this. These were the words spoken. But what happened? Day 1, he got angry 5 times. Day 2, he got angry for another 5 times. Okay guys, I think we will wind up with this. Thank you, love you all so much. A big round of applause.